I am Neo Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you, and your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. If you guys want to work with me, the links are in the description below. And subscribe for daily manifestation content. Your visualizations do not need to be in IMAX. Guys, imaginal acts are the same video format as your memories. Okay? Stop this crap of trying to make your visualizations this David Fincher film. Okay? Everybody is so hung up on Neville Goddard's feeling is the secret and it has to be perfect, and feeling is the secret is another topic for another video. But right now, what I want to hone in and really make you guys understand is that your visualizations don't need to be this big thing. And as a matter of fact, the more you treat it like a technique, the more you ruin your manifestation. Okay? When you are focused on, I guess it was an okay imaginal act, but my SP's tits are 34Bs, not C cups. So, it looked like a shitty AI capture. Dudes, ladies, gentlemen, stop. Just stop. Guys, imaginal acts are the most easiest technique in the book because we are doing it all the time. When you are in conversation and you are thinking of what you want to say next, that's an imaginal act. When you are in Mrs. Crabtree's freaking alphabet class and you're like A, B, C, D, E, F, Z, no. D, no. E, H, you're thinking of the letter, that's a freaking imaginal act too. You didn't see the letter A destroying downtown Manhattan. When you are in the middle of a conversation and you are thinking of what to say, the words don't show up in your brain necessarily like some sort of Times New Roman font, like a zoomed in scripture from the Bible on the National Geographic channel or History Channel, whatever. I don't even watch TV anymore, guys. Streaming. Come on, guys. This is 2026. Grow up. But you get the freaking point, okay? All imaginal acts are, all your imagination is consciousness. So what I want you to do is, if you struggle with visualization, imaginal act techniques, I want you to, from now on, whenever you are going to use the word imagination, replace it with the internal. Or replace it with the word consciousness. So then it will sound like this. I'm going to look in my internal of me and my SP being married. This car won't move. I'm going to look in my consciousness of my end where I have the career of my dreams. It sounds more realistic when we say it that way, rather than saying I'm going to look in my imagination. Even though the 3D is showing me that I'm blocked on all platforms, I'm going to look in my imagination and I'm going to be with my SP and I'm free. it just sounds more schizophrenic, like we're loco, like we're crazy. We're crazy. But when you say I'm going in my internal, it's almost like something clicks and it's like, oh, I get it. Because why? We have a perverted idea of imagination, guys. We think of leprechauns and unicorns. Disneyland, okay? But you have to understand that whenever Neville mentions imagination, whenever any of the most popular manifestation coaches mention about imagination, that's all they're talking about. So when you see imagination as just consciousness, as anything that you put in your internal, aka your mind, then you realize you have been doing imaginal acts your whole entire life. It's like somebody wanting to learn basketball, right? But for some reason, God forbid, they got into a crazy injury and they lost their memory. But then they start getting their memories back and they realize, holy shit, I want to learn basketball. Wait a second. They find out that they were an NBA player before the accident. You have been a legend at imaginal acts your whole entire life. So if you want to see you and your SP kissing, the thought itself brings some sort of image. Now, the issue is that a lot of you guys hear a manifestation coach tell you to imagine a scene so vivid. I want you to feel the car keys in your hand of the Lamborghini, but then you start saying, oh, but what? I mean, would I be holding it like this? I've never held a car keys of a Lamborghini before, you know, and I have arthritis, so if anything, it would be going like this. Guys, stop. Just stop. Look, I honestly think that intentional imaginal act techniques should only be used for fun. But when it gets to this point where you tell yourself that I'm not gonna be okay until I feel something, until I see something, until I hear something, and until I get some sort of sensory, until something really hits in the 5 senses of my 4D, of my imagination in this imaginal act, until then, I will not be able to say I'm successfully getting my SP. You see, when you put too much inertia behind your technique, which is exactly what you're doing when you're focusing too much on the detail, guys, you will fail. Because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The quickest manifestations are usually the ones that we don't even worry about. And guess what? Whenever you are thinking of an argument that you might have with your boss, which manifests perfectly, whenever you're thinking of a singer, or I can't even tell you how many times I hear a song on the radio and I'm like, oh, who's that? And they're like, oh, it's Ed Sheeran. And I'm like, I've never heard of that guy before. And then next thing you know, where before I never heard of Ed Sheeran, never even seen his ginger ass anywhere I went. And just because I heard his fucking music on the fucking radio, I'm seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling Ed Sheeran everywhere. Why? Because I heard his song on the radio. I saw a picture of him on Google. His picture got stamped in my brain, but it wasn't some sort of crazy, you know, imaginal act where he's jumping up and down on a trampoline and fighting dragons. And because I go about my day, order some fucking, I don't know, cocoa shrimp, and then boom, next thing you know, 2 days later, there's Ed Sheeran music all over my fucking Google. There's Ed Sheeran in the bushes. There's Ed Sheeran in the bathroom. I have to stop at the side of the road, and I go to the nearest grocery store because I was drinking way too much coffee and I don't want to have to wait till I go to the house to pee. I'm peeing. And there's that's my impression of Ed Sheeran. I hope you guys liked it. Guys, when you hear a song or come across a sports team and now all of a sudden, just because you heard of them 3 days ago, now you're seeing them everywhere, guys, you did not have to do a crazy imaginal act for that. For the negative bullshit, whenever you're in a relationship and you keep thinking, you know, something must go wrong, right? You notice that she just got an extra freaking Instagram follower, and you're like, oh man, he's got a Hellcat. You might just hear a single vroom vroom, and then because that sort of clicked something in your self-concept, like, you know, every guy who has a Hellcat is an alpha, and if my girlfriend is following a guy with a Hellcat, then gosh darn it, she's gonna cheat on me. And then what does she do? She cheats on you. Guys, all it took was one vroom vroom. You didn't even see the license plate of the car. You didn't even see the vividness of the dent that he could have had on the windshield. All you did was hear one vroom vroom, and he started going vroom vroom in her room, okay? So understand that imaginal acts do not need to be in HD. They do not need to be in 3D Blu-ray. They do not need to be in IMAX. All you have to do is go to your end and see what pops up. And anything else is just extra credit. If you guys want to work with me and really know how to do this manifestation shit, guys, you are looking at the best coach that there ever motherfucking was. I am Neil Lartos. This is all that the I Am Awareness had to say. And I know you're going to be okay.